How does a biker become a Volvo driver? Our love is about laying ourselves on the line for each other. It's an absolute, it's all or nothing. It's really funny and really painful. It's everything. It's transforming. We were match made by Louise. When she finally got us together at her party, we circled round each other, gradually getting closer until we started dancing at the end of the night. We didn't let go of each other for months. I discovered that we'd been in the same rooms at parties and gigs years before we even knew Louise. I'm glad we didn't meet then. We wouldn't have been ready for each other. I jumped heart first into our relationship. He moved in with me, far too soon, and we just got on with it. Our love was putting the past behind us, being daft but getting serious, going out and staying up all night. On our first anniversary, he arranged a surprise party for me. When he sang our song, I felt it through my whole body. Everything else around us just disappeared. By our second anniversary, we'd become a family. I didn't need anything more. The world was smaller, but a million times more vivid. Our love is putting effort into brilliant meals and barbecues, putting up with each other and making a garden grow. It's staying in when the other one's out. It's arguments. It's walking out and coming back. It's moods, bad months, sacrifice, washing up and big plans. Our love still gives me a rush. Our love makes our daughter beautiful and strong. And it made us buy a big, safe car.
"20 years ago, on a trip to Zanzibar with my father, I met this woman that I never met before in my life. The moment she saw me, she started kissing me and hugging me. I didn't know who she was, so I asked my uncle and he told me. Many years ago, she was my father's childhood sweetheart and they were engaged to be married. But unfortunately, they had to live their separate ways because of the war and disease and sickness in the village. He came to England and married my mother and settled. Back in Africa, his sweetheart waited and waited and waited for almost 50 years in the hope he would return and be married. I could not believe it. Why had my father done this? Did he not love her? Did he not care? Did he think she was dead? Did he love her now? I asked my father, but he wouldn't tell me. Perhaps he was worried I would go back and tell my mom. My father decided to stay in the village, and for the last months of his life, he lived there with his sweetheart. 6 months after he died, she died too, and they were buried together. Back in England, my mom was grieving. When I told her what I knew, she didn't take it seriously, and I didn't want to upset her anymore. As for me, while I was there, I was promised to one of my distant cousins in marriage, but before I left, I told her not to wait. I hope she won't, for her sake.
When I got the job in the bar, I thought it would be just straightforward pulling pints, but actually, it turned me into Love Spy. And to be honest, I get a buzz off it. Don't you just love the ones with that cheeky glint in their eye? Oh, you can see there's no issues between them. They're just out for a good time. I'm just wondering, does she know his wife is sitting at home waiting for him? And the flirts. Now they are fun to watch. And I'm tempted to think, oh, bless. But don't we all know what happens next? Well, it all goes horribly wrong, doesn't it? Or even worse, they turn into the gooey couple. Oh, come on, you know the ones, they take up the whole couch. And they're all over each other. Sickening, really. But I say, good enough for you. Just don't be doing it in my face. Get a room, guys. I can't bear those smiles flashing between these couples in the new rush of love. The awe, the lust, those irritating fireworks. They only have eyes for each other. Oh, please. Now, when it comes to the breakups, that's what I truly enjoy. Interesting why they always seem to end it on my shift. Well, you see the expression on his face, and he's distraught, the poor angel. I could almost begin to feel sorry for him, until I see a sigh of relief on his face, and I'm reassured it was a farce all along. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I have a heart of stone. I have fantastic memories of what love is all about. But I'm safe on this side of the bar, and at the moment, I just want to stay being Love Spy.
I was 20 when I went to Cape Town and met Clarence. He opened up a whole different world for me. My dad died 3 months before I met Clarence, and his positive attitude really helped me pull through. He was a sensitive romantic, a real dreamer. I didn't think he was my type, but he surprised me. I loved his energy. We went bungee jumping, we hiked in the bush, and we chatted long into the night about our hopes and dreams. We fell in love against the backdrop of jazz, politics, and the buzz of a new South Africa. I learned to jazz dance with this guy, and I played my saxophone on stage in his club. Now, I'm not the romantic type, but Clarence managed to squeeze the cheese out of me. Sometimes there were nights we'd sit up and just stare at the stars. Go and find your destiny, sunshine, he'd say. You're a star. And it never felt cliched. He meant it. I've never met anyone who was so free from cynicism. My 21st birthday blew me away in true Clarence style. He organised a helicopter ride along the coast as the sun went down, before landing on the beach where all my friends were waiting to party. Then back at the club, the band dedicated songs to me all night and called me up on stage to give me bunches of red roses 5 times. I couldn't hold them all in the end, but my mum willingly obliged. After 2 years or so, we separated. I suppose I was a bit wild for Clarence, really. Maybe not ready to settle down. We still email each other from time to time, and he still calls me Sunshine, although I'm sure my mum would prefer he called me Mrs.
We both went home tired that day. New love for you, found on the beach. Son Patrick came in '89, joying this day, waited 24 hours, then tried to send me home. 2nd of August we went home, gently, big smiles of joy. You shuffled along, joy was complete. Your nappies, your smile, bubbles in bath, the tears from your teeth. Dad hugs and squeezes, smiles and laughs, holds my hands, bubbles in bath. But I'm scared. I feel missed, hidden, alone, lost in me. I want more love from you, a love you couldn't give. So I closed in, refused to receive. So I got scared as Dad and had to leave. No more walks to school, help with the tea, hunting rubber bands, talking to ducks, playing in sand. Then I began to understand my dad's love. Yellow tonka, garden seeds with you, judo and bicycles, swimming in the sun, laughter in the sea, splashing smiles and sandy shoes. It all became clear. Bicycle smiles, but I never thanked you. And that day I found a new love for my son. What a journey we're on.
My mum loved drawing people and fairies. I remember the dining room on Sunday nights, the chart countdown on the radio, last-minute homework at the Urkel table, and one of my sisters whirring away on the sewing machine. I remember posing for this portrait. I never knew who'd end up being my Mr. Right, but I always knew there'd be someone. Mum used to take me to spiritualist church, and the psychics told me I'd find love later in life. I met him last year. Both 40, we'd almost given up. I call him Dream Boy, and when he calls me my squirrel, my legs turn to jelly. He's really light and young-looking. It occurred to me recently that when he hops into bed, he looks like one of my mum's pixies. We both lost our mums in our 20s, and when he told me his used to take him to spiritualist church too, I began to wonder if my mum was working some magic for me. We're both quite artistic and like drawing each other, often falling about laughing at the results. I'm still working on this miniature of him. He's got amazing recall for films and his dreams. We both write them down, but honestly, his could be serialised. Recently I realised I needed a sewing machine to do all my alterations. I don't understand why, but when he said I could use his mum's old sewing machine sitting up in his dad's attic, I felt so blissfully happy I was walking on air.
We met at work. He's a nice and good-looking person to be with. Yeah, he's a very nice person, because I like his smile, okay?
She was very cute and still is. Very bubbly, and she was always laughing in the office.
Oh, he's so amazing. Oh, boy.
I didn't want to rush things. I wanted to be her friend, so I gave her a present.
When I take it home, I played it on record player, and when that song comes up, it's very good. I jump for joy, and I was so pleased, very pleased as well. I had phone calls from him. I sit on the floor, talks with David for 15 minutes, talks for hours.
I'm still paying off the bill.
Yeah, you said you loved me. And I said, I'm very pleased, thank you very much. And I said, I love you too.
Because we have people who support us, it's very difficult for us to be on our own. So on our first date, we went out with other friends to a nightclub.
We were dancing like dancing the night away. Then we start dancing with the reggae music, And then we started kissing. Okay. Oh, God.
We joke a lot, but we're also very serious about each other. They also say opposites attract. She's like a magnet. If I'm down, she'll pick me up and vice versa.
I had feelings for him because he's important to me.
Because of our situation, we often have to be with friends and family. But in the future, I hope this will change and we can be together more. Just the two of us.
Very romantic. Oh, God. Oh, Lord.